At Zimmerk, we believe the key to optimizing the manufacturing process is to systematically and deliberately remove day-to-day variability in all the process parameters that can negatively impact your process availability, your process quality yield, your process throughput. Take away the variability that can negatively impact your health, safety, and environmental risk, and that negatively impacts your direct fluid and waste costs. The key to sustainability is to take away variability. Our focus and specialized expertise is about minimizing fluid condition variability over time and doing it in a cost-effective manner that minimizes your direct costs as well as minimizes negative impact on your manufacturing process. But managing fluid condition over time comes down to two fundamental aspects. First of all, you need a robust concentration management program. Ensuring that fluid concentration is managed and maintained within a very optimal zone is critical to get the consistency in the day-to-day performance you're looking for without wasting more product and generating more waste than necessary. As important as concentration management is, however, contamination management is even more important. Industrial fluids don't stop working necessarily because they get spent. They typically stop working because they get contaminated. Managing and monitoring contamination over time is critical. Identifying where the dump triggers are, identifying where the contamination levels can negatively impact your process is critical. Introducing the proper equipment to manage contamination and reduce it over time is the key component to extending fluid life, minimizing fluid usage, and minimizing the waste the facility is generating. So really it's about coming up with a fluid condition management program that integrates concentration management with contamination management over time. By optimizing these two factors, it's possible to get optimal performance while still managing costs. Fluid condition varies from sump to sump, from day to day, from season to season. There are many factors that impact how quickly fluid condition can change in a given operating sump. And most facilities, because they don't have a cost-effective way to manage fluid condition over time, tend to rely on time-based systems or PM programs to change out those fluids. Unfortunately, PM programs tend to lead to excessive fluid usage, excessive waste generation, and unfortunately, in many cases, the fluid is left in the sump too long to the point where it's negatively impacting that process as well. Therefore, the challenge is to cost-effectively remove that variability. Cost-effectively put together a management program that does manage concentration and contamination over time and brings forward the necessary technologies and methodologies to minimize variability. The more standalone systems a company has, the more variability that exists in their process, and therefore making this an even greater challenge to cost-effectively remove that variability. Most facilities cannot afford the time, cannot afford the effort, do not have the expertise in-house to put together the necessary business process required to cost-effectively minimize variability of their fluid conditions. Their key focus and core expertise is around reducing variability of the part they're manufacturing, not in the variability of the fluids that can negatively impact that part. Process control is essential. And reducing process variability and maintaining process control is really about testing for the right parameters at the right frequency. It's knowing what to look for over time and ensuring that those tests get consistently done, that they're consistently looked at, that you're taking timely corrective actions consistently. It's about having the necessary expertise and the necessary tools. It's about the business process that allows this to put the necessary infrastructure in place to be able to cost effectively look at all that data that needs to be looked at and take the appropriate corrective actions. Most facilities don't have the time, expertise, or inclination. They're busy manufacturing their parts. Timely corrective action is crucial and critical. Many facilities do have testing programs in place. Many facilities record that information in a book that sits on the table. But very few facilities are looking at that data. Very few facilities are trending that data. Very few facilities are using it as a predictive and a preventative means to avoid potential issues and to manage and maintain costs. Taking the appropriate corrective action in a timely manner is the only way to maintain control and reduce variability. Looking at the data on a timeline is the only way to predict and prevent the inevitable when it comes to managing costs and maintaining performance. Sustainability is defined as a process in control, and the key to a sustainable manufacturing process is to reduce as many of the variables as possible to get consistent and predictable outputs. The more variables a plant has, the more difficult it is to determine the cause and effect required to manage and maintain their OE targets. Continuous improvement relies heavily on process control. Without having a process in control, it's impossible to maintain sustainable continuous improvement. Continuous improvement relies on a process in control to be able to deliver on measurable process improvement. Continuous improvement as a growth strategy, as a sustainability strategy, relies on process control. It's essential to have the necessary quality loop in place where you're sampling for the right parameters at the right frequency. You're performing the appropriate analysis, accurate analysis. You're taking the time to interpret the information. You have expertise in terms of being able to interpret the data that's being collected. And it's about taking timely and appropriate corrective action to keep the quality loop in place. FluidPerformanceManagement.com is a tool that has been 25 years in the making. It's about cost effectively delivering process control to a facility that has a large number of standalone systems where fluid condition is variable from sump to sump, from day to day, from week to week, from month to month. It's about cost effectively putting in those tools and that business structure that allows us to manage and maintain both concentration and contamination. It's about identifying the corrective actions and the continuous improvement initiatives necessary to continue to drive costs down in a sustainable manner.